Listen carefully, because this message is not meant for everyone. It is meant for the person whose life has quietly changed in a way that cannot be reversed. Something has shifted inside you recently. It may have happened slowly, or maybe it happened after a painful moment, but whatever it was, it changed you deeply. Most people cannot clearly see what happened to you, yet somehow they can feel it. Your presence feels different now. Your energy feels different. The way you carry yourself has changed. Because of this shift, the people who once believed they were on the same level as you no longer feel that way anymore. Something about you now creates distance, even if you never tried to create that distance yourself. Amelia is here. You need to understand something very clearly. Your transformation was never about impressing anyone. You did not grow just to prove something to people around you. Your growth came from deep within you. It was real, it was necessary, and it was permanent. When someone truly evolves internally, it creates a natural separation from people who are still living in the same patterns and behaviors. Real evolution often makes others uncomfortable because it reveals the differences between who you used to be and who you have now become. That difference can feel threatening to people who are comfortable with the older version of you. Right now, there are people observing you quietly. They may not speak about it openly, but they are watching you. Some of them feel confused by your calmness. Some of them feel frustrated because they cannot understand what changed in you. Others may even feel angry. They cannot figure out how you became so peaceful after everything that happened. They cannot understand how someone who went through so much pressure, criticism, or betrayal could suddenly become so composed. In their minds, you were supposed to break down. You were supposed to react. You were supposed to lose control. But that did not happen. Instead of collapsing, you became stronger. Instead of reacting to every attack or misunderstanding, you became quiet. Instead of explaining yourself over and over again, you stepped back and allowed your silence to speak for you. This is what truly unsettles them. It is not something you are actively doing that disturbs them. It is the things you stopped doing that make them uncomfortable. You stopped explaining yourself to people who were never trying to understand you. You stopped asking for approval from people who never intended to support you. You stopped reacting to drama, gossip, and emotional manipulation. You stopped chasing validation from those who only valued you when you were easy to control. And this quiet shift in your behavior changed everything around you. Your energy has become powerful in a way that does not require words. Your presence now communicates something strong even when you say nothing. People can feel that you are no longer operating on the same emotional level as before. The silence that you now carry is something they cannot easily interpret, and that silence makes them uncomfortable. For some people, it is frightening. It could be one person who feels this shift. It could be several people. It could even be an entire group of individuals who once had easy access to your attention, your energy, and your emotions. Recently, you may have started noticing strange changes in how people behave around you. Some people may watch you without speaking. Others may observe your life from a distance without interacting with you directly. And at the same time, you may have noticed something surprising happening inside you. After all the chaos, the confusion, the emotional tension, and the disturbances you once experienced, you suddenly feel a deep sense of peace. Situations that once would have upset you no longer affect you the same way. Words that once would have hurt you now pass by without leaving the same emotional impact. You may even find yourself surprised by how calm you have become. It feels almost unfamiliar, but at the same time it feels natural. This is not accidental. You did not lose anything during this process. You simply outgrew certain people, certain environments, and certain emotional patterns. When someone truly rises internally, life begins to reorganize itself around that new energy. People who once fit into your life naturally begin to drift away if they cannot match the version of you that now exists. Situations that once kept you stuck start dissolving because they no longer align with your growth. There were people who tried very hard to bring you down. Some of them wanted to see you fail. Some of them wanted to make you feel small, insecure, or confused. They may have criticized you, misunderstood you, or even betrayed your trust. In some cases, they may have actively tried to damage your reputation or influence others to turn against you. Their dislike or resentment toward you may have gone much deeper than simple disagreement. But despite everything they attempted, something protected you. Every effort they made to break you somehow failed. And when they realized that they could not defeat you directly, they tried different methods. Some tried to manipulate the people around you. Others tried to spread negativity or create misunderstandings. They hoped that if they could not control you directly, they could at least weaken your support system. Yet even those efforts did not truly succeed. What happened to you was deeper than external success or visible achievements. Many people believe transformation is only about appearance, popularity, or material success. They think a glow-up is something physical that everyone can easily see. But what happened to you is something much deeper than that. Your transformation is internal. Your strength is energetic. Your confidence now comes from a place that does not depend on anyone else's approval. There's a quiet authority in your presence now. The calm confidence that cannot easily be shaken. It is the kind of strength that develops when a person has faced betrayal, confusion, disappointment, and emotional hardship, yet chooses growth instead of bitterness. Sometimes people are removed from your life not because you failed, but because your future can no longer fit inside those old environments. There were individuals around you who are comfortable with the smaller version of you. They benefited from the version of you that doubted yourself, the version of you that over-explained everything, and the version of you that tolerated disrespect just to maintain peace. But the moment you began trusting your own instincts, everything started to change. The moment you stopped negotiating your worth, the entire dynamic shifted. The moment you realized your value, the system that once kept you small began to collapse. People who once had influence over your thoughts and emotions suddenly lost that power. They could no longer manipulate your feelings. They could no longer control how you reacted. They could no longer reach you emotionally, psychologically, or energetically the way they once did. That sudden loss of access created instability for them. And that instability is difficult for them to accept. It is important for you to understand something here. These people are not upset because you harmed them. You did not do anything to hurt them. In many cases, they were the ones causing harm all along. They were the ones who criticized you, doubted you, or tried to diminish your confidence. What truly upsets them is that they lost influence over you. For them, influence was their power. Now that power is gone. You may have also noticed how certain people have become unusually quiet around you. These are individuals who once tried to stay close to you constantly. They called you often. They wanted your attention. They inserted themselves into your life regularly. But suddenly their behavior changed. They stopped reaching out. They stopped interacting the same way. They slowly created distance between you and them. Some may have even isolated themselves completely from your presence. And the interesting part is that this distance does not hurt you the way it once might have. In fact, without their presence, you may feel lighter, calmer, and more peaceful. Your mind feels clearer. Your emotions feel more stable. That feeling is not a coincidence. That is what happens when your energy rises. When someone evolves internally, people who cannot match that growth often step back, sometimes without fully understanding why. They may not be able to explain what changed about you, but they can sense that the connection is no longer the same. The access they once had is no longer available. What you are witnessing right now is a natural shift in your life. Your world is adjusting to who you have become. And the people who once fit your old life are slowly fading from the space that no longer belongs to them. Something powerful has been happening in your life, and people around you can feel the shift. For a long time, you may have felt like you were in the wrong place, surrounded by the wrong people. Maybe you were around individuals who never truly understood your heart or your potential. Being in that kind of environment can make anyone feel limited or misunderstood. But what is happening now is very different. Your energy has changed, and others can clearly sense it. Right now, you are rising. Your growth is becoming visible, and people are starting to notice it. There's a kind of recognition around you. Your progress, your confidence, and your transformation are no longer hidden. Others can see that something inside you has shifted permanently. Your presence feels stronger, and the way you carry yourself shows that you have stepped into a higher version of yourself. This change is not something you tried to force or show off. You are not trying to prove anything to anyone. You simply focused on your own path. You followed what felt right for you, trusted your instincts, and continued moving forward. Because of that, your energy has naturally started to clear away people who are not genuine. Without you even trying, the fake individuals and the ones with hidden intentions are slowly moving out of your life. The interesting part is that there are people who once doubted you, and now they are silently watching you. They are trying to understand how you managed to grow beyond their expectations. They thought they had already figured you out. Some even believed they had already defeated you or limited your potential. They thought your story would end exactly where they left you. But your story did not end there. Instead, it transformed. You transformed. And that transformation is what is confusing them the most. They cannot understand how you managed to rise above everything. You were never someone who tried to copy others or depend on anyone to define your path. You simply chose to do what felt right for you. And somehow the decision helped you grow beyond the limits they once placed on you. Now many of them feel unsettled because they realize they no longer have influence over you. At one point, they believed they could control how things would turn out for you. They believed they could manipulate situations or keep you within the boundaries they had created. But now they are seeing the truth. You have moved far beyond that. It almost feels to them like you have reached a place they cannot access anymore. Your energy, your mindset, and your direction have changed so much that they cannot keep up with you. This realization is uncomfortable for them because it forces them to face the fact that they underestimated you. The truth is, you are never someone who should have been underestimated. The light and strength inside you were always there. They simply failed to see it. Now your presence feels rare. You have become someone who is not easily accessible to everyone anymore. Your energy has value, and you are no longer giving it freely to people who do not deserve it. This creates a kind of mystery and respect around you. Because of this, some people think about you constantly, but their thoughts are not peaceful. They feel confused, anxious, and sometimes even frustrated because they cannot predict you anymore. The version of you they once believed they understood no longer exists. And the most powerful part of all this is that you did not rise out of anger or revenge. You simply focused on your growth and followed what felt right in your heart. You have always been a kind and genuine person, someone who carried softness and compassion for others. But kindness does not mean weakness. Your kindness came from strength. Deep inside, you are always powerful. That power was simply waiting for the moment when you would step fully into it. And now that moment has arrived, and people around you are finally seeing the true strength that was always within you. Listen carefully, because this message carries an important truth for you. The people who once believed they had power over you are never as strong as they thought. They assumed they would always influence you, always have control over your emotions and decisions. But in reality, they were the weakest ones. They were wrong about you from the very beginning. For a long time, you were surrounded by people who did not truly see your worth. Some underestimated you. Some treated you as if your value depended on their approval. But the universe saw everything. It saw the moments when you were ignored, when you were played with emotionally, and when people tried to make you feel small. Instead of letting those experiences break you, something inside you awakened. Your transformation did not happen because those people forced you to change. It happened because you realized something powerful. You understood that you do not need them anymore. You no longer need their validation to feel worthy. You do not need anyone else to make you feel loved, complete, or important. You began to see that the strength and energy you were searching for outside already exist within you. Once you understood this truth, everything started to shift. You stopped depending on people who once had influence over your life. You began standing in your own power and learning to trust yourself. This made you unpredictable to the people who thought they knew you well. They were used to a version of you that was easier to influence, easier to control. But that version of you no longer exists. Because you stepped away from their influence, the security they once felt started to collapse. The control they believed they had over your thoughts and emotions disappeared. Your transformation removed their ability to control how you see yourself. And now a deeper balance is taking place. What is happening around you is not random. It is an energetic correction. The universe is restoring balance. What was once unfair is being corrected. What was delayed is finally being released. What was blocked is beginning to open. This is not revenge, and it is not something you are trying to create. It is simply the truth revealing itself naturally. You are no longer shrinking yourself just to make others comfortable. You are no longer making yourself small so people can easily accept you. And because you stopped doing that, the same people who once benefited from your silence are now feeling uncomfortable. They are struggling to understand what changed in you. The answer is simple. You stopped abandoning yourself. You stopped sacrificing your peace and your worth just to keep certain people in your life. You chose yourself, and that choice changed everything. Right now, there is acceleration happening in your life. Your growth is speeding up. New energy, new opportunities, and new clarity are entering your path. You have leveled up in a way that many people did not expect. Your progress is real, and it is becoming impossible to ignore. Some people are quietly watching you now. They are trying to understand how you became this new version of yourself. They are wondering how the person they once underestimated became so strong and confident. But the truth remains simple. You aligned with yourself. Once you stopped abandoning who you are, your life began moving with momentum. Your destiny is activating, and your elevation is becoming undeniable. This new phase of your life is opening doors that were once closed, and nothing that tried to hold you back before has the power to stop your rise now. Your life is moving into a new phase where things begin to shift quickly. Opportunities, recognition, and progress may start appearing in ways you did not expect. This change is not luck. It is the result of everything you have gone through. Every challenge made you stronger. Every pain you released created space for growth. And every difficult moment built the resilience you carry today. Now life is responding to that strength. Someone, or perhaps a few people, are finally realizing your true worth. They may have once underestimated you or failed to see your value, but their perspective is changing. They are beginning to recognize your authenticity, your strength, and the rare energy you carry. What they never gave you before is now forming within them: respect. Even if they never say it openly, deep inside they know they misjudged you. This moment is not the beginning of your transformation. You have already been growing for a long time. The difference now is that others are finally seeing it. Your presence has become powerful enough that you no longer need to prove anything. Your silence carries weight, and your energy naturally commands respect. At the same time, some of the people who once doubted you may now feel unsettled in their own lives. They depended on external validation instead of building real strength within themselves. But you are always genuine. Your intentions were clean, and your growth came from within. That is why your energy continues to rise while theirs feels unstable. The truth they are now facing is simple. They underestimated the wrong person. Your elevation is real, and the universe is protecting what you have built. Your next chapter has already begun, and your power is no longer hidden.